Michael Hernandez here of the 10-second mark, and we are here today with a very, very distinguished guest, one of the 559 fights legends, man, but now one of the best flyweight pros, Terrance Wrong Turn Saeturn. How you doing today, brother?
Good, man. I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, man. Just looking forward to talking to you and looking forward to a guy that's not only done a lot for mixed martial arts, but done a lot for yourself, man. You've been killing it so far at Uriah Faber's A1 Combat, and you're looking to bring some of that same energy over to the Cage Warriors organization. Talk us through the matchup. How did it all come about?
So I'm fighting David Lopez for Cage Warriors. Not this Friday, but next Friday. I've been actually wanting to fight for Cage Warriors for a while. I had a couple of teammates that fought for them. My boy Blake Perry and then my boy Cesar Gonzalez fought for them. Um, and I got kind of notice of this fight like maybe a few months ago. I knew that I've always wanted to fight for them. So like when I got like the offer, I was just like, yeah, run that. So yeah, that's how everything came about.
Yeah, man, that's a pretty awesome opportunity. Are we going to get the chance to see any other Train for Life team members over there at the Sick One Casino Resort over there in San Diego? I may be butchering that name.
Not this time around. No, that's just gonna be me repping Team Nobody MMA and Train for Life. But hopefully I get on the same card with Blake. Or I know Houston is gonna be making his pro debut sometime this year as well. He was also fought for 559 fights as well. And yeah, but as far as this next fight, it's just gonna be me out there.
That's one of your odds. I know that he was also the 135 state champion for us for a little bit, but he's also one of your main sparring partners, right?
He
Somebody that
is.
helps you get ready for war. Talk about that
He,
relationship a little bit.
He is, man. Me and Huey, we've been teammates for a long time, actually. We went to high school together. We were teammates in high school. And when I started training, he was already training at T4L. So, I mean, things kind of just fell into place. And life kind of goes around full circle, you know. And me and him have a really good relationship. I actually just dropped him off at the crib not too long ago. We had trained this morning. And yeah, so I've been really good friends with him for a while. Me, him, his older brother, and his pop used to go fishing a lot after we graduated high school. I ain't been fishing with him in a minute, but yeah, well, we're really tight like that though. Everybody on the T4L and Nobody MMA team, we're all like one big ass family, man. So we're all tight.
Yeah, it seems you guys travel along pretty well. Also, I mean, even at the last 559 fights 99, you guys had Andrew Priolo compete, and I feel like all you guys were over there, man. It was like a whole party. You had Blake there, you had
Yep,
your teammate Amini, and you
yep,
also had you were there. I think the only person missing from that group was Houston.
yep, yeah. Houston, I want to say he had to work that day or something like that. He's been kind of like bouncing from job to job. He just got another job recently that he's trying to kind of stick to for a little bit now. But yeah, no, it was a big group of us that had rolled out there for Drew. And it was dope, man. I hella like going out to that arena or like that venue because it's outdoor, it's on a baseball field, and I fought out there before. It's dope. I like going out to that.
Yeah, the 559 fights canvas. I'm pretty sure that's something you are very familiar with. Even your last win over there, it was a KO win over, and I think it was at the convention center, but still, it was
Yep.
obviously a pretty big win for you to help propel you into your pro career. And then after that, you had the big win against Isaiah Wright. So it was just like bam, bam, bam. The Valley has always kind of shown you a little bit of love. Do you have a
hmm
special relationship with the Central Valley, or is it just like, hey, man, it's a place where I fight, you know?
I would say that it's got a pretty good spot in my heart, man. Like my last two amateur fights were there, and that like the 559 fights crew, they all treat me so well. And then I'm also signed with Iridium and Jeremy, he's the promoter for 559 fights, and him and I have a really good relationship. So I love it out there. I love it out. The only thing I don't like is the drive, but other than that, it's all good though. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Yes, it is most definitely a drive, and it can definitely be a lot hotter in that car on that ride from Napa to the Central Valley, because I feel like Napa is already kind of a little bit warmer, and so on the beginning of that ride, you know, it's hot, and then get a little bit cool for a bit, but then once you come into the valley again, it's all the heat coming back at you, you know. But I was also gonna say for your professional bouts, were a couple of those also at the Tachi Palace as well, right?
Just my last fight was at the Tachi Palace, and it was dope though, man. Like I said, the only thing that I don't really enjoy is just the drive. But other than that, it's cool, man. I ain't never been to the Tachi Palace except for my last fight, and I know that that place is like a pretty historical venue for fighters that are kind of up and coming and building a name for themselves. So it was
Yeah.
dope.
No, it was definitely a very fun night of fights. I mean, obviously you were not getting the result that you had expected, but let's take a little deep dive into that fight a little bit against Late Gee, a very experienced guy in the professional scene. I believe he was 6-0 before he fought you. You were 3-0. One of the O's had to go, but you still put up a very, very good fight in this fight. It wasn't it was a unanimous decision, but I feel like if anything, it could have been split on some scorecards. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of whether it was a unanimous or a split, I didn't really see it going my way. It's kind of hard to win a fight when you're stuck on bottom for 12, 13 minutes out of 15 minutes. And hats off to Lake, man. He's super respectable, and like I had nothing but respect for him going into the fight, and again, nothing but respect for him after the fight. And yeah, as far as like seeing that I won, I personally don't really think that I won that. I may have landed a little bit more damage on the feet, but like I said, like when you're stuck on bottom for 12 to 13 minutes out of the fight, it's tough to get the nod.
Yes, and especially in a game where like how you're saying MMA, it's not just like, you know, they're not going to take the grappling into account. That's obviously a huge part of things. And the way that he was able to hold parts of that fight, it's like how you said, I can definitely see where you said it's like, hey man, I'm going in there. I still wasn't able to do my thing. And you know, that's very respectable nod to you to have the respect to your opponent, Late Gee. But I feel you're getting a very much more, I mean, obviously that last matchup was a very, you know, it was, I feel like it was a little bit of a step up in competition, but now you're getting somebody, David Lopez, that's just 3-1 as well along with you. Does that kind of feel a little different going from somebody that was 6-0, a whole lot of experience, a whole lot of fights to watch, to now somebody that's 3-1, that's obviously, you know, only 2 fights less, but still it's a little bit closer to what you're at?
Not necessarily. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's still human, everybody eats, sleeps, breathes, and shit's the same. And it's just another fight. It's really just another fight. He's just another person that is in the way of me getting to where I want to get to and making a big name for myself. So I'm not looking past David. I don't think that he's a stepping stone. I respect him just as much as I respect anybody else that I fight against. And I'm excited though, man. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, man, it's definitely going to be a very fun night on September 8th at, over there in San Diego for Cage Warriors. And I'm very excited to see also for the implications after this fight, man, because, you know, obviously the flyweight division, like how we were saying a little bit before the call, it's kind of one of those weird divisions right now in the higher up professional scenes. And we'll go through it. You know, obviously UFC has a very deep flyweight division, and I believe so does it's escaping me at the moment, but there's one other of those major organizations that has the flyweight, but Bellator, PFL, a lot of those organizations don't have flyweight. If you were to go to one of these organizations, would you be willing to go up to that 135 range? Or are you kind of trying to stick to an organization that you would stay at the 125? Because at 125, man, you're looking nice and fast. And I feel like that's your weight class.
Definitely, I agree with you, man. I've had people ask me before if I was like thinking about going up to 35s, and maybe if I was like a little bit taller, but I'm not really gonna grow any more taller as far as that. Because the 35ers, man, they're tall and they're really big too. So it's like I feel like flyweight is like the perfect weight class for me. I feel like I got a really good frame for it. I'm not the biggest guy in flyweight, but I'm definitely not the smallest guy in flyweight. So I feel like I fit really, really well in flyweight, and I don't have any plans of leaving the division anytime soon or at all for that matter.
And you're one of the only flyweights I've ever watched where I'm like, hey, this guy has some serious KO power. You know, you sometimes you watch some guys in the flyweight division and they're very technical, which is also very fun to watch as an MMA fan because you get to watch all the sequences and all the things, the little logistics of an MMA fight that not every fan gets to see. But you, man, you could go in a fight and end it within the first minute. So take us through that, man. Being a flyweight that's part of this new generation that, you know, they come with the, obviously you got the skills, you have the wrestling, you have a lot of those harnessed MMA skills, but you also got a hell of a right hand. You know, you could got both of those hands, man. I feel like they got power in both of them as you displayed in your pro fights.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you can tell, as everybody can tell, I like to hit people really, really hard, and it's fun. It's fun punching faces, man. But like you said, it's also fun watching. Like as long as for people that train and for people that yeah for people that train, it's fun to watch technique. And I seen this interview or like Bo Nickel was on like this podcast recently, and then he said that MMA is like he said something like MMA is like the biggest sport where like the fans think that they know the most, but in reality they know the least, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I get and like as a fan as well, because I really love to watch MMA as well, like um it's I can see where people get bored when people are just clenched up or people are just grappling. But as somebody that trains and that actively fights, like I know what's going on and I know that it's not just they're not just holding each other, you know, the whole entire time when you're clenched up or when you're grappling, but that in itself is a fight, you know what I mean? And Coach Devo's about to fucking talk some shit to me now because we kind of have this thing where like um no disrespect, but people in the jiu-jitsu community like to say that their matches are fights. But
Yeah.
you know, like when for me, like a fight is like somebody like when you actually get to fucking hit somebody, you know, and but there it is still a fight though in a sense where you're when you're clenched up, you're jockeying for position, you're trying to hold position, you're trying to improve your position. Um, so yeah, I can, you know what I mean? Like I can see where people would be like, "Oh, this is boring if they're just grappling or clenched up." But as a fighter and somebody that trains it, I understand it, you know, I get it.
Yes, it's very much a part of the process for you. It's the way you look at it, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of the way when I try and watch it. Obviously, I feel like a lot more of the things that you say, you know, like even somebody that watches the sport, I feel like half the time when I'm watching, I'm like, do I really know what's going on? Do I really like have a glimpse of what these fighters have? Because when you go in a cage and you get hit, nobody really knows what's going inside your brain. As much as people want to think they know what's going inside your head, as much as they want to know, think like, oh yeah, I know what this guy's going to do next. Like this guy's going to go into this. You really don't know. Like I would say about 90% of the time, fans do not have an idea of what that fighter is thinking inside of that cage. So I'm very, very happy that you were able to touch on that a little bit and kind of show the insides of what you as a fighter think. But what are some things that you're looking for after this? Are you looking to stay at Cage Warriors and get some fights in over there? I know you said that you loved the organization beforehand and looking, you know, at your pro fights, you're like, hey, I wouldn't mind fighting for Cage Warriors. Is that somewhere you're looking to stay? You're looking at one more fight at Uriah Faber's A1, Dana White's Contender Series. What are you looking at next, man?
Well, luckily for me, I'm not tied down to any promotion right now. So if I'm not well, I'm open to fighting for, you know, I'm open to going back to A1 or if Cage Warriors wants to have me back or if like Fury or LFA, you know what I'm saying? If anybody hits me up with a good offer and myself and my team think that it's right, we're gonna jump on it. So but we'll see though, man. I mean, like I said, like if they like me and they want to give me another offer, that'd be great. If not, I mean, I know there's a bunch of other regional promotions that would like, you know, that I'm pretty sure would like to see me step foot into their in their cage and then fight for underneath them as well.
That is most definitely true. I can see a lot of promotions lining up for the services of a wrong turn, as you always bring not only a ton of crowds, people in the crowd, but you also bring a lot of hype into your fights because of your skills, because of the way that you're able to put people out, even on the back. I mean, you have a rear naked choke submission in your professional career, which is something that oftentimes you'll see guys like they have a ton of knockouts, no submissions, but you're getting it done on both sides of it, man. So kudos to you, my brother. And obviously, we are all going to be very excited watching on September 8th. Was there anybody that you had to give a shout out to, or any training partners in specific that you had to thank for this upcoming fight on September 8th?
Yeah, definitely. I would like to shout out my team, obviously, first and foremost, Team Nobody MMA, Train for Life, Saber Jiu-Jitsu, Team Saronio. I would like to shout out all of my coaches, Coach Anthony Sonny Ramos, Brandon Madali, Coach Devo, my new wrestling coach, Coach Darius, my training partners, Houston, my boy Brandon Vu. Brandon Vu's been coming up in there and then helping me out a lot recently. Obviously, Blake, Cubby, Amini, Kanoa, Dre, Jules. Um, for my sponsors, I would like to shout out the Wealthy Families Financial Services and Insurance, WK Foundation, Cheddar Made, Hard to Overcome, La Cabana, La Colorinha, Whiskey Throttle, Racing, Seb Life Sounds. I'd also like to shout out to my girl because she's an artist as well and she trains as well, but she's the one that actually designs all of my fight shirts. And without her, man, it would be really, really difficult. And like she really takes a big load off of, some of the stress that goes within like promoting and then like um designing the shirts and helping push the shirts as well. So and then my family, my mom, my pop, my all of my uncles, Uncle Johnny, Uncle Trelane, my aunties, and everybody else that supports me, all my T for Ohana. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. And then thank you, man. Shout out to you, Michael, man. It's good to see you again. I know you always show me a bunch of love, man, whenever I see you, bro. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to have me on your show. It's a pleasure, my boy.
Hey man, it was an absolute honor, Terrance. It's always been a goal of mine to try and get you to sit down and talk, but I know you're always a busy man. You're always in between fight camps and everything. But I just had to get you this promotion for this fight, man, because I feel not enough people are talking about this, man. Cage Warriors 159, man. It's gonna be an absolute banger. Make sure you guys are tuning in. It's gonna be on UFC Fight Pass, I believe, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All righty. Terrance Saeturn is going to be looking to climb to 4-1 as he takes on David Lopez over there at Cage Warriors 159. Make sure you guys, if you guys are in the San Diego area and would like to purchase some tickets, make sure you guys go do that. Cage Warriors always puts on an amazing show. But if you guys are going to be at home for the event, make sure you guys are getting UFC Fight Pass and supporting your boy over here, Terrance. But that is going to be it for me over here at the 10-second mark at MLH Media. Michael Hernandez is going to be signing out over here with Terrance Wrong Turn Saeturn.